The search for space. Since the invention of computers and computing devices, data storage has always been a challenge. As computers advanced, data size increased, creating everlasting demand for more storage capacity. Data storage devices have evolved dramatically from being large chunks with the capacity to hold a few kilobytes of data to microchips holding a few gigabytes of data. Storage of space. From 1932 to 1980, we see the development of instruments that pioneered the storage of data, from the introduction of the Selectron tube, punch cards, punch tape, magnetic drum memory, and the hard disk drive. The IBM 350 was the first disk drive and was the size of a large wardrobe. Back then, though, it was a major invention. It had the storage capacity of about 3.75 megabytes. It would require 200,000 of these devices to store 1 terabyte of data. The area would have covered 3,150 soccer fields. Storage devices and computers were big and bulky and hard to move through space. This is the picture of an IBM hard drive being loaded onto an airplane in 1956. It's a 5 megabyte drive and weighed almost 900 kilograms. To put that in context, 60 years later, the weakest iPhone 5S has a 16 gigabyte drive, about 3,200 times as big, and weighs a mere 100 grams. The IBM hard drive could have stored one entire iPhone picture. By 1962, things were getting better, or smaller, as trunk-sized devices were scaled down to the size of washing machines. The IBM 1311 looked like a washing machine, but saved a lot of space due to the change in its dimension. Then followed the IBM 2314 disk drive. Because of their appearance, they acquired the nickname of the pizza oven. An entire bank of these drives could store 240 megabytes, but weighed almost 2 tons. You would have needed 4,167 of these banks to store 1 terabyte of data. So we've progressed from wardrobes to washing machines to pizza ovens in size, but we've also almost doubled the storage space and made huge improvements on transfer rate. One of the main selling points for the pizza oven was its virtually uninterrupted operation. Although hard disk drives kept improving, state-of-the-art disks were built according to the concept bigger is better, well into the 80s. Hard disk drives are normally used together with big mainframe computers, so this wasn't a big deal, as entire rooms were already set aside for the company's computer. Then our planet suddenly got smaller. People were traveling around the globe, and the PC and later laptops became a household necessity. This created the need for smaller hard drives to enable people to carry data from one location to another. The Picola paved the way for the creation of the small-sized hard disk drives which we use today. It was a revolutionary product due to its small size. This disk drive had the capacity to hold an unbelievable 64.5 megabytes of data, and it was only 8 inches long. And so devices got smaller and smaller, and storage capacity grew exponentially. And then in 1997, IBM broke all records. The DeskStar 16GP could store an incredible 16.8 gigabytes of data, but came with a hefty price tag of $420,000. The next breakthrough came from Trek in 2000. Trek was the first company to release a commercial USB flash storage drive called the Thumb Drive. This little drive had the capacity to hold about 8 megabytes of data, about 4 times that of a floppy disk, and was priced at $55. This was the start of affordable flash drives. But bigger was no longer better, so in 2006 SanDisk released the micro SD card. It could store 2 gigabytes of data and cost $99. Pushing the final frontiers. In 2016, Delft University of Technology described a breakthrough technology with the world's smallest hard drive. It's a rewritable storage device, can store 500 terabytes per square inch with enough space to store every single book on the planet, or the entire contents of the US Library of Congress in a 0.1 millimeter wide cube. From helium drives to shingled magnetic recordings and even DNA storage, the future holds incredible possibilities. We might even get to answer the age-old question of how much space is actually enough.